Hey everyone, and welcome back to Open Remote. Our next guest is a visual artist from the Bronx, primarily known for her Bronx Face projects. And today she's joining us to tell us how she is staying creative during self-isolation, while also offering art classes for children throughout New York City. Please welcome visual artist Antoinette, Annie Leginni. Hey Annie.
Hey Rhina, how are you?
I'm good. Should I be referring to you as Antoinette now?
Yeah, you can call me Annie.
How are you holding up during these times?
I mean, just like we all are, just getting through it day by day. That's honestly how I've been trying to see it, just one day at a time. And it's rough, but I mean, it's rough for all of us.
So I noticed you have some images from your Bronx Face projects behind you. How many
Yeah.
of those do you have within your residence?
Right now, I only have a couple of them completed because I have a few of them on display, like at Fordham Plaza, and then they were on other shows that unfortunately had to be canceled, but obviously due to the situation. So right now I only have a couple completed, and I have a bunch of work in progress at my home studio. So they're growing. I'm building them back up here.
It's lovely. It looks like you have people in your home. And so how do they serve in keeping you company?
Yeah, I'm gonna start posting them up in the seats around me and talking to them.
Yeah, no, it's like that movie where he's talking to the ball. What do you call the ball? Wilson? What was the name of that movie with Tom Hanks?
Oh, Castaway.
Yeah, Castaway.
I'm this close to that, you know?
You're that close to that?
Yeah.
But at least you have real faces.
Yeah, that's something.
And let's talk a little bit about those faces and how you pick your subjects.
Yeah, so they're part of this series called Bronx Faces that I've been working on for the last almost 4 years now. In August, it'll be 4 years. So it is a collaborative community art project that pairs the stories and experiences of Bronx natives with a mixed media portrait. So they kind of...
How many of them do you have so far?
I have, oh my goodness, I'm just losing track. I think I have 53 completed out of 100 with like maybe 10 in progress at the moment. So it's a lot.
It is a lot.
Yeah, just a couple with me like in my home at the moment.
And the other ones are where?
Yeah, I think 48 of them are at Fordham Plaza right now, which is actually a public display, so you could actually walk by if you want.
Right, because it's on a glass window, right? You can see it as you walk by.
Exactly, it's visible from the street, which is kind of nice. Like if you want to like go for like, you know, your daily walk or something, get some fresh air, you can stop by it. Although I want everyone to stay inside, you know.
Yeah, well, also on your website, you can also visit your artwork because you have a lovely, lovely gallery. And what I really appreciate about this project is that you provide history behind it. You're giving insight on each individual, on the subjects. And so that's why I'm curious to know how you pick your subjects.
Yeah, well, that was exactly like my reasoning for wanting to do this project, is because I wanted to learn more about my Bronx home from my community, from my neighbors, from the folks who have grown up here. So I wanted to hear the history of the Bronx through their context, through their voice, you know? So this was a project for me to learn more about my home. So I had people about 4 years ago almost submit to an open call online that started with just a couple of my friends, and I asked them what their favorite food spot was around the Bronx, because I feel like that's a good way to get to know an area. And then I asked them a couple more questions, like what stands out the most growing up in the Bronx, which may not always be a happy story or positive memory, but we're going to add context to that memory, you know? What did you do for fun growing up in the Bronx? What's your favorite local spot, whatever it is. And then I pair that with their portrait, just to give me more of an idea of what is your experience growing up in the Bronx, you know? And every piece is titled with their name, neighborhood that they grew up with, and the year that they were born. Again, just more context to their answer.
Yes, yeah, it's definitely a nice way to just provide some insight as to the Bronx now. And the other part of it is the dynamics that you use in your mixed media, right? There's glitter, there's all these other elements that are added to each of these portraits. So I know on the website we're just looking at it as images, but in real life, is there texture to all of that?
Oh yeah, yeah. They're super textured. When I'm around, at least, not when it's on display, but like I'll encourage people like, hey, you could touch it if you want, you know, only from there, please, you know, because you know, I just get nervous. But I want to encourage this, like they're, because they really come to life. Like it's so wild to see like this painted realism and then this contrast in like real materials. Like it tricks your eye. It's like, wow, what is real that I'm looking at right now? And it kind of bugs you out of it. One of my favorite pieces that I just made recently in the past month or two is my participant LA. He's got tattoos and he's got the
saw that.
Yeah, so he's
got tattoos on his face.
Yeah, those are really fun to paint too.
I can imagine.
Yeah, his response, a lot of the times, most of the time, the participants' words, their reflection has an influence on the materials that I use. And in he was talking about how his favorite local spot is his mom's house, and there's always a fresh pot of coffee whenever he's home. So in his portrait, I used coffee beans. And that's like a little.
I saw that as braids.
Yeah,
I saw that.
He gave me that idea, you know. It's like
dope. That was dope.
Yeah, thank you. I love that. That was really fun. I was like, oh my God, I can do that. You know?
Yeah, no, I please, honey, I praise brilliance. I'm like, brilliant. Yes. So, but wait, you know, we're just going on and on and on, and we could talk about the Bronx Face Project all we want. However, we have to make sure that we mention these classes that you're offering to the next generation before we go.
Yeah. Thank you for providing this platform for it too. Yeah, so I'm a teaching artist with Spark. We are an art, yoga, and meditation program for kids all across New York City. And, you know, we have all been affected by the current crisis with schools closing because we teach mostly after school. And we teach in some electives in some middle schools and Saturday classes. So we've been seriously impacted. We have to completely shift gears and just figure out how can we still bring our art lessons, our art classes, that spark of creativity to our students, you know, and maybe not only our students, but can we reach others through this right now, you know, during this time of isolation. So
how are you coordinating this, right? So the kids are working through Google Meets and Google Class. And so obviously you would be more of an after school program. Is this a Zoom application? Like how does one become involved? Like, do they have to register? Do they receive a Zoom conference? What's that process?
Yeah, sure. So right now you can go to the Spark website. It's thespark.nyc, and you can see our schedule of classes. We have, like, you could just scroll down and you can see our schedule. You can see which artist is teaching on at what day, at what time. And you can schedule just like one drop-in class. We're on Kid Pass, if you've ever heard of that. Or you can
what are the age ranges?
So I typically teach ages like 4 to 7 and then 8 to 10. If you have a kid who's like outside of that age range, hit us up, you know, like we're not gonna keep this from anyone, but that's typically our age group. And you can drop in on a class, you can register right on the website. We accept Venmo, Zelle, PayPal. And again, if that's something that, you know, you don't have that, hit us up, like we're willing to work with you. Right now we have a special discount for Bronx families for group classes, which you can see on the website as well. We have not been able to teach yet in the Bronx, so I think that that would be really special to offer that to families here.
Yeah, no, I feel you. It's all about getting creative, right? We got to create our space. We got to create the feeling. We got to keep creating. When most importantly, we got to document this time because this is a very historical time.
Yeah, and I mean, it's it's a really rough time for everyone. Like everyone's hurting right now and struggling. But one thing I know that like the teaching artists at Spark right now, what we're all kind of feeling is like our role right now is to, you know, bring this spark, this creative kind of inspiration, like to families, to kids. So like, let's keep that going.
Love
And
it.
right now we'll have a free lesson up very soon, within like the next couple of days. We'll have a free lesson up on our website. So you could just go do that lesson with your kids, do it with your family. And it's one you can do over and over again. So that's one thing that is a free YouTube video that we're going to just give to you guys just to start off with, you know.
Awesome. Thank you. All right, Antoinette, here's to bringing spark into the children's lives. Good for you.
Yeah,
And
thank
you
you.
guys, to get some art lessons from Antoinette and Leginni, you can visit thespark.nyc, and you can also find her on Instagram at legnini.art. Don't go anywhere. Bobby C's weekly sports roundup is coming up next.